Hire Away with Collins Harlan.
Welcome to Hire Away. Hire Away is a show where we talk about jobs, we talk about businesses, but importantly, we talk to the people that are operating those businesses and doing those jobs. So these are people with skin in the game. My name's Collins. I'm with Labor Finders, and we have two offices here in St. Louis. One's in North County, one's in South County. But if you're hiring, if you need people, we have offices all over the country. So the best thing to do is go to www.laborfinders.com. That's laborfinders.com. You're going to find the office nearest you. Call them up and they'll help you out. All right. So before we start the show, I have to mention the H-2B visa issue again. If you have a landscaping company or a construction company, any company that was set up to use H-2B visa workers, and you don't have the right lottery assignment this year, you're not in Group A or Group B, and you're worried about that, you should give us a call. We have a solution for you, and we can help out. So, getting that out of the way, let's talk about our first guest, or actually our only guest. We only have one. His name is Randy LeMaster, and he's an interesting guy. We're going to find out a lot about what he does. He's pretty multifaceted. I don't think he sleeps. He's a father. He's got a podcast. He's an alderman. He does all kinds of outreach, community outreach work. He's just a busy guy. And of course, we're also going to talk about what he does for a living. So enough of me talking. Let's get to it.
Hire Away.
Randy LeMaster.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
It's been a long time since I've seen you or talked to you.
We're old friends.
We're old friends, and mostly we're the first word, old.
Well, in both sense. You know, we've known each other a long time, and now we're old.
Yeah. So I remember you when we were growing up, and you were always such a nice, humble person. You got along with everybody. What'd you want to be when you were a kid?
Because I'm the best.
Because you're the best. Because you're so humble.
Well, you know, growing up in Granite, I was thinking about this, or I think about it before, but you know, everybody wanted to be Dave Fernandez, the soccer player, you know, or,
that's
or
right,
one of the great soccer players growing up.
That was back in the days when we won state and all that stuff.
Yes, but bigger picture, I always wanted to be a shortstop for the Cardinals. But
so you're a baseball guy.
Well, I was more back then than I am now.
Well, that's because we have the Cardinals.
Yeah,
So I shouldn't have said that.
It's not the same. But
it's not this. I'm a hockey guy.
Yeah.
And the NHL was talking about expansion again and what cities they were going to expand in. And I say they should bring a team to St. Louis. I think the fans would really probably support that, at this point. But so you're a super busy guy. I mean, you're a dad, for one. That'll keep you busy. You're an alderman. You have a podcast. What else? Community outreach. You do a lot of community outreach. So, and then of course you work. You go ahead.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, of course you yes, I work.
What was our question?
I'm not a bum. I work. Yeah. So what do you do? You're an installation manager. Tell us about that. What's that like?
For a company called Leaf Home Bath, which is a division of Leaf Guard Gutter.
Gotcha.
It was the parent company. So I run the office here in St. Maryland Heights, to be specific. And it's pretty much just me. And I have a team of installers that we schedule jobs for, service calls. I handle other things like inventory and do a little stuff on the computer, and that's my day.
Do you do any of the work, or you just boss people around?
Yes, I do. No, I do not do any of the work. I was telling somebody the other day, if somebody put a gun to my head, I might be able to install a shower
maybe
in about 5 days. But these guys do it in 8 to 10 hours one day.
Well, is it the kind of work where how'd you get into it? Were you a tradesman first, or were you in management, or how did it happen?
No, I've done many things for many companies. I worked for a company for 14 years that I thought I was going to be at forever. They were an automation industrial distributor.
That's kind of cool.
So I worked my way up in that company, and then 2008 hit, and me and a few other people were told, hit the road, Jack.
I remember that. Yeah.
So then from there, I bounced around from selling grain elevator buckets, which I didn't even know was a thing, to selling industrial chemicals and safety stuff for a few different companies. Never was the best salesman. I was too nice, couldn't close. Made a lot of friends in the industry. I mean, I sold some stuff, but not enough to keep it going.
You're what we call a relationship-based salesperson. Where, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, where you probably just needed to be in a different type of industry, selling a different service or product, and you would have done really well.
Yeah, I had an owner, an Indian guy that started a chemical company over off South Grand, and I was driving around Springfield, just peeing in the wind, doing cold calls and stuff like that. And he calls me and says, "What are you doing?" in his broken English. And I said, "What do you mean I'm out here?" And he goes, "You're not selling anything." And he said, "I get calls about how, nice and respectful and they like you, but you don't sell anything." And I was like, "Well, because I couldn't close."
See, that's a failure on management, in that case, ownership, because you take a guy like you who definitely has the ability, and you help train that person up. I mean, it's a wasted opportunity, in my opinion, but it led you to where you are now.
Yes.
And you've been with this company for how long?
Since June of 24.
Nice.
So I got back into, I hate to say my love, because I've always enjoyed warehouse management, inventory, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a company that I was at before, I was doing that for a flooring company, actually a stone's throw from here.
Gotcha.
So this is, I'm really familiar with this area, and then it was kind of a sinking ship. So a recruiter found me, and here I am, and I love this job, and I hope it's where I end up.
Well,
finish.
You seem very happy where you are. That's good. But like I said, you're a really busy guy. We're going to talk about all these things that you do, all the things that I mentioned, because you're multifaceted. You've done all kinds of things. You got your podcast.
I'm the most interesting guy on my block.
You are. You're kind of like that Dos Equis beer guy. You don't often drink it,
right?
But when you do, anyway. So what I noticed is that you're very involved in something outside of work called OWL, and I'm thinking that's an acronym. OWL.
Yes.
What is that? What is OWL?
OWL is overnight warming locations.
Overnight warming locations.
Yes.
And that's in Granite City?
It's in 3 locations. It started in Edwardsville and Alton.
Okay.
And then our pastor came in contact, went to a function where they were at. They were seated at the same table. Stuff came up. They started talking. What do you do? What do you do? And then our pastor was like, "We have a big gym, and let's do it."
So just, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Overnight warming locations.
Yes.
Obviously, this is like a place for homeless people to get off the street.
Yes.
In severe conditions.
Yes. So they go by AccuWeather. And they use the Alton location. If it's 20 or below, we activate, and we have it's very organized. We're trained. We have leaders. We have kitchen help leaders. We have shower monitors, and we get them off the streets. There's a team of people that go to where they are. Usually, which is usually downtown Granite and certain spots. They bring them to the gym. About 4:00, we feed them dinner. We keep them off the streets and keep them alive.
Yeah, that's obviously fantastic, because they have no other option. I mean, I don't think there's a halfway house in Granite City or anything like that, is there?
No, nothing for the homeless. I believe the police. I believe the police and fire will let them come in. I hope I'm not saying anything wrong there, but the township during the day will open the doors. But we're in Granite, we're the only place that offers a full, like, here's a cot, here's some clothes, here's a shower, and we'll give you dinner and breakfast and relationship.
Relationship. Expound it. What do you mean by that?
Humanizing them, talking to them, learning their story. Excuse me. I don't know how I would rank what they appreciate most about what we provide, but conversation and just a handshake and playing a board game with them means a lot to them. That's
interesting, and I think you picked the right word there. Humanizing them again, because these guys gals are out on the street. They're fending for they're probably paranoid as can be.
Yes, they live a life of looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
What little they have is very well, they protect it. They sleep with it.
Yeah.
Some of them are together. You'll see some that know each other and kind of move around together. Some are solo. And talked to a guy out there the other day, and he was scared. He was mid-30s, probably had some mental issues as well. And he said, I just walk around not knowing what to do. And he was, they're very appreciative. I mean, we've had some bad, guys coming down from drugs or, schizophrenia or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's been no violence. They police themselves a lot. We've had a lot of success stories, but by and large, they are very appreciative of us being there for them.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And one of the things that you had mentioned is that you guys are very structured, because it sounds like everything that you're mentioning, all these things that you do for them, you're not just bringing them in, okay, you're warm, okay, it's morning, go. All these things that you're doing for them require structure and organization.
Volunteers.
This is all through the church, right?
No, this is the community. And I had to give a shout out on Facebook the other day to the people that aren't from Granite that come here to help us.
Nice.
In a lot of the organizations that I've, whether it be a pet shelter or a women's shelter, a lot of the volunteers come from other cities. Now, some of them are coming home. They were from Granite, moved out or whatever. But I do want to say that I don't want to take a lot of credit for this. I mean, God was moving in our church, moving with our pastor. Our pastor, oh my gosh, he works his tail off. I'm just a foot soldier. We've got people that do way more than I do. I just show up on my shift for 4 hours and do the best that I can. But there's a lot of people that I wish got some recognition.
Well, you're kind of giving them some recognition now. It's a team approach, and we're all, so to speak, foot soldiers for God, and purpose in life. And but what's impressive is, well, I don't know if impressive is right. I don't want to blow your head up. But what I think the key is, you put yourself in the position to be of value, and then you do it, And so you and your team and all these people that work on these things, it's fantastic.
Somebody has to lead. I've never considered myself much of a leader, but if it's a good cause and a hole that needs to be filled, sign me up.
I'm going to ask you. This is either going to be an obvious question that people are going to be like, why did you ask that question? Or hopefully it's going to be what I think it is, which is a chance to go a little deeper into this. What motivated you to get out there and do this?
Well, it helped that it was through our church. So I was already there. So I was at the ground floor. And of course, I'm going to do it if this is a worthy cause.
Well, let's back up. Okay. And I'm going to probe at you a little bit. You're already there, and of course you're going to do it. But, the other option is just to eat the donuts and go home and watch YouTube. And you didn't. So
I've done that too.
Right. So when you say, of course I'm going to do it, why is that a given? Tell what in you makes that a given?
I mean, my faith and the way I was raised, I guess you could say,
Gotcha.
was huge. I mean, it's just what my mom would do, what my dad has done. They would do that kind of stuff, and a lot of times we didn't even know about it because they didn't want to bring attention to themselves. They weren't those kind of people. But later on, after my dad passed away, I would have multiple people come up to me and go, your dad gave me $50 when I was at my lowest or whatever. And he was very quiet, humble. He wasn't look at me.
Right.
So I think it's just the way you're raised. And our pastor is a leader and a doer. And, you tend to follow people like that. If a good leader will.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. There are all kinds of leaders. Yeah.
And his wife too. I can't leave out they're a team, and her job is, her 9 to 5 is, helping people. So both of them, I guess you could say. So, yeah.
So, So it's just good leadership then, and you had good leadership in parenting. Your father was a leader, but not an ostentatious
Now my
one.
mom is more of she's a go-getter. Like,
Gotcha.
She's very well-rounded, can sing, dance, play drums.
Yeah.
She's in her mid-80s now and teach. She's
still going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what made you decide, because again, so busy and you're doing all these things that really make a difference in the community. But what made you decide to run for the alderman position?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. So I've always been into politics. I mean,
Really?
ever since sixth grade, we had a mock election at Wilson School, and I got to be Reagan, and we had to go around classes and give speeches and stuff, and so that was like the seed. And then you had Alex P. Keaton from Family Ties.
Yeah.
Remember him?
I do.
The conservative character on TV.
Yeah.
But I've always been into politics, and friends would be like, "Well, why don't you run for something?" And I was like, "Oh man, it's hard to put yourself out there."
Yeah, let's back up then, and let's approach it that way. What were your when people would say that to you? What came to mind and to heart that made you think, "Nah, I don't want to do that. That I might not want to do that."
Well,
What reservations did you have?
I'll be honest. The one of them is the fear of losing and rejection. I mean, you
Very human. Yeah.
yeah, that's the human aspect of it. My daughter was growing up, getting older. I was just like, what am I doing? There's this was before OWL and
Sure.
before other things that I was doing, but I had gotten to know I'm very, very involved in supporting businesses in Granite. I got to know a lot of business owners. I would listen to them and they would vent to me. And I thought, well, maybe I could be a voice for small businesses and a cheerleader for the city, and the rest will come later, the knowledge and the.
I can see that. And, going back to what you said about the different jobs you had in sales and how people probably just opened up to you pretty naturally. You're probably easy to talk to. I
haven't met a stranger. I love hearing people's stories. I do love talking to people. So yeah, that's never been a problem.
So basically, any misgivings you had, finally, you just the benefits outweighed all of those, and you thought, well, maybe this is something I should do.
Yeah, and so in the first couple of years, you're just like, you're a little lost, because. I'm good at the strength of me as an alderman is listening to people, returning calls, helping them out, doing the customer service, which gets back to kind of what I'm doing for my job too. I always felt insecure and lacking in the knowledge of, the budgets and the ordinances and, some things like you just feel like, oh my gosh, this is going over my head. And, am I making the right decisions? Am I investigating enough or researching enough? And so, I made it through 4 years, and I thought, well, I'm gonna do it again. So,
what's interesting is, to me anyway, what I'm hearing is somebody that got into local politics to make a difference. A lot of people get into local politics because they have ambitions, like they want to then become a mayor and then maybe even a governor or a senator. So yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's perfect. That's not you. And I think that makes a good civil servant.
Yeah. There are people, I know of people that had told me that, I wanted to do this since a certain age, and I knew that I had to do this to this to this. Mm-hmm. And I never thought that when I was younger. I never thought, I better start padding my resume.
Right.
Could I run for something else? Sure. There's attainable positions, within the county or whatever, but I don't have the money, connections, or the fire in the belly for that kind of stuff.
They always say, know thyself and thine own self be true. And you seem to have that down pat. So that's good.
Yeah, this could be, I'm a year into the second term, and, it could be it. You don't know. You don't know until about a year out from the election where you're like, oh, okay, maybe you'll
make that decision when the time is right.
Yeah.
Well, I think your constituents probably hope that you do run again,
I hope so. I hope so.
Oh, I bet I would bet my bottom dollar on it. So we talked about you being a dad. We talked about you working. We talked about your community outreach and all the stuff you do there. We talked about you being an alderman. And then there's more. Like, you've got a podcast. Like, how do you fit all this in, by the way?
I don't feel as busy as you make it out to be, because there's a lot of downtime.
It's because I'm lazy.
There's a
by
lot
comparison.
of downtime, and some of these things are the meetings for counselor twice a month and the podcast. But had a podcast since April, around my birthday of 2019.
What's it called?
Two Broke Republicans.
Sounds political then.
I would say it's 40% political, 60 fun and games.
Fun and games,
maybe,
politics, and does that mix really?
Yeah, it does. And speaking of the name, it's been very even controversial within our group, because one of our guys that came in said, I can't. His wife was helping us at the beginning. She's, I can't really promote you with this name, because it could be, you could lose half the people that, just because of the Republican
Sure.
of the name. And it felt like we were shadow banned on, they wouldn't even boost us on Facebook because Republican was in the name.
Isn't that a shame?
They pushed back, like we couldn't believe it, but it was true. So, I had so much fun doing the other stuff, but it's a place to vent politically. But so there's been talk of, okay, let's change the name, and then one of the guys left for a while, and he came back. But me and the other guy were like, well, should we change the name and just take it in a different way? But we're still here doing the same tomfoolery.
So you've been doing it for a long time.
We should have more episodes, but we had breaks, where we
You probably had to.
And life, we have life,
and
life gets in the way.
Sure. But it's a political show, but not really. I mean, you guys have a lot of fun on that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it used to be like a sandwich, we would have fun, the bun, and then we'd have meat in the middle, which was the politics, and then we'd finish it with more fun. So it was like
a good idea.
I've kind of talked the guys into pushing the politics to the end, so that if people don't like it, because we get people all the time say, we love the politics, we want more of it. And then there's other people that say, we don't want the politics, we just like you guys having fun. So we have a lot of different opening segments that we do. Get off my lawn, it's just
Get off my lawn.
3 old guys complaining about life. My first time, where we talk about stuff that we did for the first time.
That sounds interesting.
Whether it be, and it's usually, something controversial.
I was going to say a little risque, perhaps.
Yeah. So, and then we always end the show mostly with the top 5.
Well, how do people, like, if somebody's hearing this and they want to check out your podcast, what do they do? Where do they go?
Spotify, iTunes, just Two Broke Republicans.
Just type in the...
Yeah, you almost have to go to the R in Republicans, because there's so many two broke genres.
Oh.
I mean, there's so many. There's two broke gay guys. There's two broke guys selling watches, or two broke girls, or there's a lot of different. Yes. Yeah. And we're like number 3, I think.
I actually like the name, and it makes me think of when I was growing up in Granite City. Well, Madison County. Let's just call it that. Excuse me. When I was growing up, that area was like completely blue, Democratic through and through. Has that changed?
Yes. Yeah. When I was growing up, I didn't know of a local Republican. I'm sure there were a few here and there,
I didn't either.
Other than Reagan, Reagan won everything, in 80 and 84. Sure. And even probably Bush the elder probably won, did well with his coattails. But it's really, so sometimes you think things and you're like, well, maybe I better go look it up to see if what I'm thinking is really true. And it looks like, if you go back just for Madison County, it looks like Obama's reelection, Romney actually eked out beating Obama in Madison County.
Wow.
Not by much, like a couple thousand votes or whatever.
But that's still impressive given the history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Obama was a popular president with his base. And so, and then when Trump came along, with Trump coming along, it kind of coincided with the Democratic Party changing and leaving its core behind, which was the working class, the middle class, working class.
They felt abandoned.
Yes. Yeah. Like my dad was a union steelworker. He didn't talk politics a lot, but we know that they voted for Democrats because that's what they were, that's what you do.
Yeah.
The unions were with Democrats, and that started changing to where, I mean, I still have friends that work at the mill, and, if you ask them, it's almost all the leadership will still tell them, oh, we want you to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
But the rank and file are like, no, thanks.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, we got you.
Now that's really interesting. So, I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, but I guess things change, and what you're saying is,
parties change, and both parties have changed. Like the Republican, when I, back in the 90s, I mean, I was team Republican and free trade, and we didn't think. I remember Ross Perot warning us with NAFTA. And remember the giant sucking sound of jobs going to Mexico.
I do remember that, yeah.
And I was team Republican and thought, this guy is crazy, and he ended up being right.
Right. Yeah.
And so things have changed, and, Trump has, with all his warts, has changed the way even guys like me think, as far as like prison reform and tariffs and, things that we would have never, never come up in the Republican Party that we're like, okay, well, Trump seems pretty smart. Let's give it a shot. Let's think about it.
And on the other side, on the Democrats, you mentioned that they've left their base, their party, over the past, 10, 15 years, 20 years?
It was kind of a perfect storm of Trump coming along and being this, he was a show.
Yeah.
He wasn't a politician. He was an outsider. Yeah. He's the first I would say he's the first independent president we've had. I mean, at least in our lifetime, because he was a Democrat, maybe in name only throughout his business world in New York.
Yeah.
And then he ran as a Republican, and the Democrats loved him. He donated their campaigns, but he came in, ran as a Republican, and kind of shook things up.
Yeah.
And somebody's doing good when both sides don't like it. Like
that's interesting.
The power brokers don't like it.
Right. Yeah. So I was talking to a friend yesterday, actually. No, day before. Doesn't matter. I was talking to a friend, and or maybe it was all in my head. I don't know. No.
What matters is that you have a friend.
I have one. Yes, I do.
That's the key
I'm
takeaway.
hoping that after the show, I'll have two friends.
Right.
It'd be great. I'm doubling up.
Right.
But no. What he noticed is, I've always considered myself more of a centrist. Like I clearly value conservatism. Am I saying that right? Conservative. Okay.
Get the edit button.
So somebody please, you say it for me. What am I trying to say?
I forgot what you were trying to say.
Okay, great. We're a great team.
Conservatism?
Yes, that's the word.
Yes.
So I truly value that word you said. But, I also can see the value of liberalism. I think there's a saying that if you're not a liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart. But if you're not a conservative when you're older, you don't have a brain.
Yes.
So I've always kind of thought the middle is a good place to exist, right? But then
what's a funny thing too is like locally, sometimes I feel myself, speaking for and understanding what people might be if they're more left leaning, just because I've always been for the underdog, and if you feel like there's a power structure and that, you want to give people a voice that normally don't have one. But I don't know. I've never been a liberal, and that just never has entered my,
Well, that's probably why you are doing well Just kidding. Anyway, sorry, liberals. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
yeah, I'm neutral here. I'm Switzerland, which is boring. But anyway,
Well, Margaret Thatcher says if you stand in the middle of the road, you'll get hit from both sides.
well, I feel like it. I feel like that's happened.
Pick a
yeah.
lane, Colin.
I can take it. It's all right. But no, but the whole point that I think you made is parties change. The Democrats went way left.
Yes.
Who knows what's behind that? There's all kinds of theories, right? And then the Republicans, they had to respond to that. I mean, otherwise you keep going down that road, So that's my view of it. I mean, would you agree with it? That's why we see more of a hardcore right response to that? Or?
Yes, and I don't know if I'd say I would say it's a fear, but it's natural that the pendulum will swing hard one way, and then there's a reaction to that. Yeah. So if Republicans with this period of power right now, if they go too far and just either get lackadaisical or take their eye off the ball,
right,
or just start doing dumb things because, hey, we've got power, we can do it, then the pendulum's going to swing either back to the middle or back to the left.
That is a really good observation. And that the midterms are coming up in 9 months or so or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm worried. I'll be honest. I think that they're, the person, the team or the party in power tends to lose,
it's proven. It's historically true.
And with Trump not being on the ballot, Trump brought out a lot of low propensity. Now that's a word.
It's a big one.
Voters. There's a lot of people that I know that never got into politics. One of the guys on my podcast didn't vote much, if at all, and Trump brought him out.
Amazing.
So there's millions of those people out there that will they be gone whenever Trump's done? Will they show up for Rubio or Vance or whoever the next person is? Will they show up in the midterms?
That's a really good question.
We already have some. There was a seat in Texas that was reliably red that flipped, and because people stay home.
Yeah, that's scary. So, whether you like him or not, Trump is. I mean, that guy. He never sleeps. Apparently, he's done so much work.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I couldn't do it.
What are some of your favorite? I'm going to throw you a curveball. Of all the accomplishments that he's had. What are one or two of your favorite things that he's done?
Oh my gosh! Well, you're putting me on the spot
I
there.
am.
There's so many. I think that the Big Beautiful Bill to me was great.
For sure.
There's more money. I just it just kicked in January, so there's more money in my pocket for my paycheck. I think the investment that he's bringing in, there was I think a story that came out today that there was in this past year, there was a loss of manufacturing jobs, but I think that was a carryover from Biden.
Right.
But now with all the investment coming in and the plants that are in, going to be built.
It's in the works.
That are in the works. I think that 26 is going to be a boom.
Boy, I hope you're right,
year.
man.
And I don't know if it's going to matter in the midterms or not because, some people just be like, I want something different. And candidates matter too. You can,
well, you pointed it out with, when Trump's gone, does the next candidate have that type of charisma to draw those people that you mentioned out?
Right.
Candidates matter.
Yeah. And, I was a big fan of the Tea Party movement when it came, and
I remember that.
But the problem with that was they threw out a lot of kind of wacky, characters that thought, I'm just in the movement, I'm going to run,
right?
And we lost a lot of seats because they primaried people that they weren't perfect, but they could have won.
I want to go back to one thing you said just a moment ago about the midterms coming up, and you talked about that pendulum, and the left went this way, and if the Republicans counter too hard and make a bad showing of that, then that's going to come back the other way. Thus, the midterms were worried about it. Do you think? Let's take Minnesota, Minneapolis, or is it Minneapolis where everything's going on? Yeah. So. Tom Homan's come in there, and he's got a little bit softer approach. And even the president's kind of backing him up on that. Like, okay, maybe we need to take a look at the way we're going to continue to do deportations. Of course, that's what we want to do. But okay, we'll meet you halfway. Do you think that's the kind of thing that the approach that the Republicans need to take so that they don't go too far and damage themselves?
That's a very good question and thought, because I wrestle with that a lot. Because one of the things that I love about Trump is that he fights, and he doesn't take what the left and the media give him, like George Bush did. The father, the son, a lot of Republican candidates. He says, this is what I want to do. He's a leader. Yeah. There's also times that I cringe and go, do you really need to say that? Like, why are you giving them ammunition?
Right.
But sometimes I think he trolls people. I think that's a big part of his personality is like, I'm going to rile them up, get them going on this. And then I'm going to pull Maduro out of Colombia or Venezuela.
He knows how to push their buttons and then make them look kind of silly.
And
expose them a little.
He really is a very good tactician as far as what he wants to do. But I do think that one thing he doesn't get credit for is the way he pivots.
How so? What do you mean by that?
So, case in point, Minneapolis. There are times that he'll be like, okay, I'm doing this, but you know what? I'm going to change it up.
Yeah.
He has changed. He's changed courses on things. And he'll spin it, I'm the best, spinner, pivoter, whatever.
No one doesn't like me.
Yeah. But he, I don't think he gets enough credit for that, because it's hard in life, period, not let alone as being a politician, to admit you're wrong.
The president,
yes,
where all the chips are on your shoulders. Yeah.
To admit what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I wish there were more people that can do that. And it's hard for me. I mean, it is.
It'd be great if more people recognized that he does that, actually.
And they don't. TDS is it is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it blinds people, and I didn't like Biden. I didn't like Obama. I didn't like Hillary, whatever, but I lived my life.
Yes.
I didn't go home and cower under the covers and go, oh my gosh, we've got 3 more years of Biden.
Right.
I knew it was bad for the country, but you just have to put your boots back on and then go vote.
That's right. 4 years, you get another chance, And
try to change it.
And life goes on. And that's the way it should be.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're kind of running a little short on time, actually. This has been fascinating.
We could keep going for another hour, probably.
We probably could. We should. Ethan, producer
but Ethan's got to go, right?
Do you have a date or anything? What's going on? No, that's
me.
Oh, that's right. You do have a date. Congratulations, everybody out there. Randy has a date. Right. It's his first one ever.
Shout out to Nikki, by the way.
Shout out to Mickey. Is that her name? Okay.
Nikki, yeah.
Oh, Nikki.
Yeah.
I thought you said Mickey, because I'm an '80s kid.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
You're so fine. You blow my mind.
Yeah. But that's a guy, Mickey. We don't want that.
We don't want that. No. It's bad for the image. So, but here's my final question to you, and I hope it's a good one. When everything's all said and done, and you're retired, fingers crossed, right? Retired, and you're sitting on the porch, you're reflecting about your life, what would you want your legacy to be?
I always tell people that I hope I made them laugh.
Yeah,
I love to make people laugh.
So you're John Candy.
Yeah. Well, I hope I'm not getting that big, but I'm working
kidding.
on it.
Just kidding.
But no, just what I've never had a job, or I've never had a career. And I've never had a job that defined me, or, oh, Randy, he's a chemical salesman, or, people that I've known for years probably don't even know what I do. So I always thought that I would be defined, or want to be defined, by what I did after work.
Wow.
And for other people, a servant.
You want to be defined for what you do outside of work hours and what you do for other people. That's profound, man. That is really profound.
I've never said anything profound.
We just did.
Okay. Well,
You're very profound. Just shut up. You're profound. Anyway, sorry. No, but the reason I say that is you almost led into it there, and I'm guilty of it. Sometimes we get so involved with our daily churn, and our work that we let it define us, or we wrap our self-worth up into that. And that's just kind of crap, And
you have to, because you got to pay the bills, but
well, do you though? You have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I kind of like the way you said what you said there. I don't know that you have to let it define you in order to do a good job at work. And to some degree, you have to get you have to be serious. You have to bear down. You have to take it seriously. But when we start talking about self-worth, that's what I got out of what you said there, man. It's like, Randy's right there. I don't want to be known for what I did at work. I hope I'm doing a good job. I want to do a good job. But why I think it's profound, Randy, is you want to be known for what you do after work. Here's what I do after work. I go get a beer and I watch YouTube. You do all this other stuff, man. That's really cool.
I just drink tea and watch YouTube. But no, I don't know. There's things that if it interests you, do it. There's things that I've tried that I didn't think I was going to be good at that I end up loving, like coaching soccer. My daughter's team, I had these girls from 5 to 12 years old, and to this day, I love them and go watch them play or do whatever they do. Hopefully they'll, I'll always know them, but you just go out and try something. And I wanted to make this year more of that, more of trying, more of saying yes, because there's a lot of things I say no to. Sure. Just because I'm like, I'm not interested in that. But you never know. Try something, you might like it.
Well, I still think that I think that what you said was very profound, and made me think about my own life and how maybe I should make some adjustments. That's how profound it was.
If you're happy doing what you're doing, then you're good. But
Randy, you are the hardest guy to give a compliment to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, but it's profound, and you are officially my new role model.
No, shucks.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, Colin.
Great show, and everybody tune in to Two Broke Republicans. There's 3 of them, but who cares?
Yeah, we're bad at math.
Yeah, so thanks, Randy.
All right, thanks, Colin.
Wow, what a great interview. Randy's a good guy. And that was really profound what he said. He wants to be remembered for the things he's done outside of work. And that makes so much sense. You're going to want to stay tuned, by the way, for the Job of the Week. That's coming up. Don't forget to like and share this on your social media. We're going to be back next week with a guest named Jason Jackson. He's the operations manager of a company here in St. Louis called Dr. Brown's. They make baby bottles, but they have an interesting history. They didn't always make baby bottles. I think they were a toy company or something like that. So operations manager Jason Jackson coming up next week. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock.
Hire away with Collins Harlan.